Tell me if this sounds familiar. You got your first tattoo and immediately started planning the second one. Your friends ask, "Don't you think that's enough?" Meanwhile, you're already sketching ideas for your next piece. Your family thinks you're going through a phase. Spoiler alert, it's been 5 years. But here's the thing, the urge to keep getting tattooed isn't just about liking pretty pictures. It's revealing something fascinating about how your brain works. And the psychology behind it? Way deeper than most people realize. Over 46% of millennials have at least one tattoo, but here's what's wild. Most don't stop at one, they keep going back. And while everyone's busy judging the ink, almost nobody's talking about the actual psychological drivers. Understanding why people love tattoos reveals something profound about human nature, identity, and how we process meaning. Let's start with the obvious, the pain. Yeah, tattoos hurt. So why do this multiple times? People who love tattoos often have what psychologists call a high tolerance for meaningful discomfort. Notice I said meaningful. These aren't people who enjoy pain for pain's sake. They can endure temporary discomfort for permanent value. Studies show their brains fire off dopamine anticipating the final result. They're not focused on the needle. They're focused on the art they're creating. But here's where it gets really fascinating. People who love tattoos often have what researchers call a concrete identity orientation. These individuals process their identity through tangible physical markers. They don't just think about who they are, they need to externalize it, make it visible, make it real. For some people, loving their mom is enough. For others, they need her portrait on their chest. It's not that one loves more, their brains just process attachment differently. Tattoo lovers have a deep psychological need to make the internal external, to take abstract feelings and give them permanent form. There's something called identity anchoring that happens with tattoos. Every piece creates a physical timestamp of who they were in that moment. That dragon at 22? It's a marker of where your head was at. People who love tattoos are creating a visual autobiography on their skin. And sometimes it's about claiming who you want to become. Tattoos become commitment devices. That sobriety date? It's a constant reminder of the person you're choosing to be. Now let's talk about something most people won't admit. There's a real psychological component around control and autonomy. For some people, tattoos are about reclaiming ownership of their bodies. Maybe they grew up in a controlling environment. Maybe they experienced a trauma. Tattoos become this ultimate act of bodily autonomy. It's your body, your choice. Nobody can take it away. People who love tattoos often score higher on autonomy motivation. They need to feel like they're the authors of their own story. And what's more permanent than literally writing that story on your skin? But sometimes this need for control can tip into something else. Some people use tattoos to cope with feeling out of control elsewhere. Can't control your job? Get a tattoo. The psychology here isn't good or bad. It's just revealing what's happening beneath the surface. But there's another reason people keep getting tattoos that's actually kind of beautiful. For many, it's about connection and community. There's this whole world of tattoo culture, and psychologically, this taps into something fundamental. We're tribal creatures. We want to belong. Tattoos become visible markers of tribe membership. When you're covered in ink, you can spot someone else who is, and there's instant connection. Studies show people with tattoos often feel a part of a community that understands them differently. And in our isolated modern world, that belonging is powerful. Here's something that'll mess with your head. Some of the most thoughtful, self-aware people you'll ever meet are covered in tattoos. We've created this narrative that responsible adults don't get tattoos. That ink equals impulsiveness. But for many people, every tattoo represents hours of thought, research, artistic collaboration, and deep personal meaning. Some individuals process significant life events by creating permanent markers. That tattoo about their grandmother? Every time they see it, they're actively remembering, actively connecting. The physical marker doesn't replace the memory, it enhances it, makes it touchable, visible, undeniable. You don't forget your best friend without their name tattooed. But for some people, having that tattoo transforms how they carry that relationship. It's not better or worse, just different. And let's talk about the elephant in the room, addiction. Some people say they're addicted to tattoos, and while it's usually joking, there's psychological truth to it. Getting tattooed releases endorphins. You're getting a natural high from the pain-pleasure response. But most tattoo lovers aren't chasing the endorphin rush. They're chasing the transformation. Every new tattoo changes how they see themselves, how they feel in their skin. There's something deeply psychological about literally watching yourself become a different version of yourself. More colorful, more expressive, more authentically you. Psychologists call this the transformation narrative. People use tattoos to mark transitions, to signify growth. And once you experience that transformation, it makes sense why you'd keep going. You're not addicted to tattoos, you're addicted to evolution. But there's one more layer nobody talks about. For many people, loving tattoos is about rejecting a specific cultural narrative. Society says your body should be pristine, unmarked, professional, acceptable. Getting tattooed becomes this beautiful middle finger to all of that. It's not rebellion for rebellion's sake. It's a conscious choice to define yourself outside the narrow boxes society provides. Studies show people who get tattoos often score higher on nonconformity orientation. They're not trying to be difficult, they're genuinely uncomfortable following rules they didn't agree to. They question the status quo, and their bodies become the canvas where they express that independence. So here's the truth. The psychology of people who love getting tattoos is complex, valid, and fascinating. It's not about being impulsive or attention-seeking. It's about concrete identity processing, autonomy, community, transformation, and a different philosophy about what it means to be yourself in your own skin. And maybe that's what makes this topic so interesting. We spend so much energy judging people's choices, questioning why they'd permanently mark their bodies, but the reasons reveal everything about how diverse human psychology is. Some people need to see their identity, others just need to know it. Neither is right, neither is wrong. They're just different ways of being human. Whether you're covered in ink or completely blank, the most important question isn't what you choose. It's whether you're making that choice consciously, authentically, and for yourself. Because at the end of the day, both paths are just different ways of answering the same question. Who am I, and how do I want to show up in this world? If this video made you think differently about tattoos, hit that subscribe button.